For My People is speaking with Barbara Jean Johnson. Ms. Johnson has been active in local and state politics for a long period of time, and she joins us on this program to talk about what her focus is as she jumps into a big swirl of a race. That's the Detroit City Council. What is your focus in relationship to your interest in the city of Detroit?
Well, my primary focus is that I know that it's a great city. I have a passion for the city. I've been living here for a number of years, over 30 years. Most of my life I've lived here. I'm not a native Detroiter, but I've been here for the majority of my life, and I love this city. I know that 20 years ago I ran for Detroit City Council in 1989, and I won in the primary. However, I did not win in the general election, and so I got out running for office. There was a special election in 93 that I put my hat into. That was just for a minute, but it was not a big major election. And I stopped being involved in that. And that was in 91, I apologize. And then I started working in the political arena. In 1993, I was appointed by Mayor Dennis Archer as manager of neighborhood city halls. And then during his second term, I was promoted to director of neighborhood city halls. I love politics, and I went on after the Archer administration. I began to work for then State Attorney General Jennifer Granholm when she was running for governor of the state of Michigan. And so I became her Detroit field director, working with her. And after she won, she appointed me to be director of constituent relations. I worked in that capacity, also served as an advisor to the governor for constituent engagement. During her second term, I'm now serving as Director of Community Affairs and Regional Director for Detroit. So I've had 15 years of government experience, and in that 15 years I've also been in the community. My whole 15 years in the government experience has been in the community. I love the community. I've been very effective in the community. One of the things that I'm the most proud of is the fact that when the governor was first elected to office, I asked her about starting a community group so that community citizens, everyday people, could have a voice, because I truly believe that people should be brought to the table at the beginning, not when you have everything decided as to what you're going to do, but bring everybody to the table in the beginning so that they could have a voice. And I spoke with her about that, and she certainly agreed to it. And I started a group for her, or founded it, Governor's Community Ambassadors.
Barbara Jean, for a lot of people don't know you. They don't know, just how comical you really are and so forth. And I don't want to raise the specter. The juxtaposition of this is too interesting. We got a lot of problems at City Council in terms of what people think about it. And barely do people talk about its legislative responsibilities. Mm-hmm. What do you think, in your most, not in a funny way, but the most humorous way, that we can regain some faith in the City Council?
Well, first of all, in order to regain, people need to know the difference between the City Council and the mayor's office. The mayor's office is the executive branch. City Council is the legislative branch. And what the legislative branch does, ordinances in the budget and proclamation resolutions and stuff like that, I think that people really should come together, first of all, in a respectful manner. You can't do it alone. You have to work together. So unless and until we work together in a collaborative fashion, first of all, starting with your colleagues and then with the executive branch of government, and then it'll spread out through the community. So the only way that you're going to have people really believing in what we're doing is that you do it in a manner and in a sense that people will say, hey, I want to go down there. This is my city council. We need to get back to that where people are proud of saying, this is the city council that I want to represent me, and have people speak in that fashion.
Now, when we look at situations, and we have a short period of time, but when we look at things in terms of what's happening in the city, what do you think maybe are the 2 or 3 things that are most pressing that need to be done via legislative activity?
One of the things that comes to mind immediately, and then there again you have to realize what the legislative branch can do and what the executive. But one of the things that I'd like to see, and I spoke about this yesterday, in order for us to get the economic development and jobs and conventions and stuff coming in, you have to have a good transportation system. If you don't have core services like good transportation, people are not going to come to your city. You can have everything else in the world, and unless and until we get a good transportation system, one that's reliable, one that's safe, one that the drivers feel safe about, and one that everybody feel comfortable with, then we're going to have problems. Crime is a big issue in our city, and we all know that. I'm on the board of directors of Crime Stoppers, and one of the things that we are doing is we're working now, and we're beginning a project with the city schools, with the Detroit Public Schools. They have a no snitch mentality. You know, Johnny can't tell what's going on, or little Mary can't tell, or whatever. But unless they know that you have to speak up, we need to eliminate some of the crime, not only in schools, but in the neighborhoods as well.
And I think, obviously, we need to eliminate crime in government.
Oh, without a doubt.
BJ, we have to conclude this segment, but I just want to ask you, as a person who's worked in the community, how important is it to have a grassroots perspective?
It's the most important factor, I believe. And that's why I've always stressed the fact that if you have people, everybody at the top making the decision in the community is not involved, then you're going to have a failed project. Because how can you know what people want unless you involve them? How can I know what's on your mind? Or how can I know what will work in the community unless I ask the community? Very important.
For My People has been speaking with Barbara Jean Johnson, who will be running on August 4th of this year as a candidate for City Council. We thank her for joining us on this edition of For My People. And if you'd like to find out more about this interview or anything else you've seen, reach us on our website at projectbait.blackgold.net. That's projectbait.blackgold.net. Funding for closed captioning is provided by the Rice Bowl, Fresh Asian blackgold.net. That's projectbait.blackgold.net. Funding for closed captioning is provided by the Rice Bowl, Fresh Asian Cooking, located in the Millender Center in downtown Detroit, on West Grand Boulevard in the New Center area, and in the College Park Shopping Center, located on Southfield Road at Outer Drive. For more information, contact us at 313-963-3200.
When I'm riding the D-Dot buses or going through the halls of the Detroit Public Library, people frequently walk up to me and give me their feedback about For My People. But if you don't see me or some of our other hosts on the streets, you can still send us your feedback. Send it to projectbait@att.net. That's projectbait@att.net.